Now, Stormwatch 12 weather with meteorologist Oliver Smith.
Well, we're looking at some pleasant conditions in southern Oregon and northern California, but looking at Talent, we have a pretty well-defined band of smoke. There's a little bit of some clouds, high clouds right here, but most of this is all smoke. So this is all rolling into the region, and we'll be looking at this here in the days to come, or at least for the next 24 hours. It's 74 in Talent. Also in Medford, east the Cascades, upper 60s to low 70s. It's 67 in Chemult. It's 76 in Montague, and low 50s, still cold along the Oregon coast. Our satellite picture, you can see we do have some of the clouds in the region right now, but the clouds are mostly hugging the Oregon coast. And they'll break up a little bit today, but then they'll reform again for tonight. So looking at the big picture, well, the next batch of clouds way up towards Alaska, we'll get a little bit of that for tomorrow, but really nothing all that significant. So we had the clouds earlier today. They've pretty much gone away almost completely into the Rogue Valley, and temperatures going to be pretty hot today, getting into the low 90s for the most part. In fact, for the forecast for today, we're looking at temperatures getting into the upper 80s here within about, say, 2 or 3 hours. And then by about 5 o'clock, we'll get into the low 90s. So our stormcast showing that our high clouds that are pretty much not really here anymore are going to continue to just thin out and push off towards the east for the remainder part of the day today. Tomorrow, we'll see kind of the same scenario, except not quite as thick and maybe not lasting quite as long, but more clouds moving from the west towards the east. They're not going to do a whole lot to our temperatures. In fact, temperatures are going to go up a little bit more for Friday and then again on Saturday. So the forecast for today, it's going to be chilly along the Oregon coast. Maybe you might make 60 degrees in Brookings, but we're looking at 91 for Medford and Wairika, 92 in Grants Pass. Not much cooler, but a little bit more in terms of smoke over at Mount Shasta City at 89 and 80s east of the Cascades. For tonight, again, we'll see that the fog and low clouds along the Oregon coast redevelop. Forecast an overnight low of 52 for Brookings, but most areas getting into the 50s for tonight. We may still see some upper 40s east of the Cascades over by Lakeview, but 59 is the forecast low for Medford. So yeah, there's still all that smoke. The fires down towards California. That site's fired. Now it's 15% contained. So it's come up, but it's still largely out of control. And the smoke, again, from that what we're just looking at on our cameras, it moves into the region for today. But the good news is that when we go through the day tomorrow, we'll start seeing the wind shift just a little bit, and it might thin out a little bit more. So it may not be as obvious for tomorrow. If you're thinking of doing any yard work over the next couple of days, looking pretty good overall, at least in terms of, well, you don't have to worry about getting any kind of rain. Now, we are going to see a little bit of relief in terms of our temperatures. Cold front is going to be moving into the area. Now, our satellite and sometimes our stormcast doesn't really show fronts very well, but this actually kind of does. So here's our cold front on Friday. It's offshore. It kind of thins out and moves through the region on Saturday. So it might just provide some high clouds, but it'll actually cool temperatures off a bit. And then we'll get another one by the time Wednesday comes along. That one actually might cool us off a bit more. So here's your forecast for the Oregon coast. Looks to be a little bit warmer for tomorrow, especially if we can get that north wind to show up. But otherwise, we're looking pretty nice. Temperatures into the 60s and 70s for the next several days. Northern California, low 90s today, upper 90s by Saturday, and then just a little bit of cooling as we get towards early next week, but still plenty hot. For the Klamath Basin, mid 80s today, low 90s Friday and Saturday, and overnight lows generally into the 50s, although highs cool into the upper 80s. For the Cascades, we'll be pretty much into the 70s, although we might make 80 on Saturday, and overnight lows still comfortable into the 40s. And the Rogue Valley, again, it's going to be pretty hot for today. A little warmer for Friday and Saturday. We cool off a little bit early next week. But we might have to wait for some more cooling, not Wednesday, but maybe Thursday. It might drop another 10 degrees after that. We might get back into the 70s. That'd be nice.
That would be nice, but it's definitely summer and the weather is reflecting that.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
All right, well, thanks, Oliver. Let's go ahead and switch over to our health stories.